Heavyweight boxing fans, what's the deal? All right, man. So I'm gonna wait till a few people get up in here and give my quick opinion about this old guy fight, man. You guys know if you guys been a fan of my channel, it's been a while since I've been on here, man. But you've been a fan of my channel, man. You know that I'm a big fan of the old guy fights. You know what I mean? With old guy fights, if you want to title it, guys that are past their prime type of fights. Speaking of those type of fights, I mean, Roy has been in a few of them. You know what I mean? Shit, if you want to see the B Hop fight, but we know how B Hop is. That dude was an alien in his career. You know what I mean? Fighting well past, all up into his 40s and everything. Um, and then even the fight that Roy had with Trinidad, that was a fight where I thought both of those guys was well out of their primes. You know what I mean? So I'm a fan of these type of fights, man. Another old guy fight that I've talked about on my channel that I would have loved to seen in the 90s, probably anywhere from about 91 to about 93, 94, was that Larry Holmes versus George Foreman fight. I would have loved to seen that fight. Um, but this fight right here, man, this fight between Roy and Mike, if you go on the search bar here on YouTube, you type in Roy Jones Jr., Mike Tyson, Mr. Boxing Today. I actually did a video 4 years ago where I was talking about this fight, and I was talking about these guys fighting around like that 2002, 2003 type of time frame. I know they were talking about Roy moving up to heavyweight as early as what was that, 97? I know when he had that rematch with Montel Griffin after he blew him out in one round, hitting him with them damn left hooks. Um, well, that was kind of like a hybrid hook that he caught, or it was like an uppercut slash hook that he caught Montel with in that second fight. But anyways, they were talking about him going up to fight Holyfield then. So I knew that even then in the later 90s, I knew that Roy was going to move up. But anyways, I did a video talking about these guys fighting in like 2002, 2003, Roy and Mike. So I remember they were at the I think that was the Source Awards. I think it was the Source Awards where they were on stage together, and they were joking with each other about fighting each other. I remember that. I think it was the Source Awards. I think it was the Source Awards or the BET Awards. It was one of them. It was a hip hop award show. But so I did a video on it then. So now, and a lot of people are leaving comments on that video saying, "Oh, they're gonna fight now, so we're gonna see." Yeah, I mean, this isn't 17 years ago when I thought the fight could have took place, but it's an exhibition, right? They're calling it an exhibition. Whenever you're in there with Mike Tyson, man, uh, with no headgear, you can use the term exhibition, but it's still gonna be a fight. And Roy, it's gonna be interesting to see, man. Let me say what's up to everybody in the building, man. My man James Coleman was good. DB salute. St. Cruising was, he said, the senior tour of boxing. Yeah. DB, what's up, man? Lewis Hitton, uh, official AJ up in here. What's good, bro? Mark Wonderlink, what's up? Um, yeah, man. So look, it ain't even worth really going over who they fought last and all that type of shit. Look, man, Mike hadn't been in the ring. Was that '05? Was it '05? '04, '05? Well, I know he, after the loss to Lennox, he had came back. He had knocked out Clifford Etienne. That's the first fight he had with the tattoo on his face. The shit wasn't even healed all the way. I think he got the tattoo like a few days before the fight, which is insane. Then he had the two back-to-back losses. He fought a year apart. I know he pretty much gave up and quit in both fights against Danny Williams and against Kevin McBride. I actually ordered the damn McBride fight. I was in college then, man, and I had ordered the fight at a because I played ball. I played basketball in college. So I went to a football player's house. Me and him was cool with each other. This cat from Milwaukee actually, and went to his house because he had a box. So I ordered it at his house. Say, hey, bro, can I throw the fight party at your crib? You know what I mean? And yeah, man, Mike pretty much just quit. So, and we know Mike's been through a lot of ups and downs with his body within the last 15 years. Sometimes he's in shape, then he's out of shape, but for the most part, he's been in shape for the majority of the past few years. You've seen him here online, on Instagram, with clips of him being in shape, and he just looks like a really good, a older former athlete that's in good shape. That doesn't translate into he's going to be a great fighter or he's going to go out there and be able to give us, a strong 8 rounds. It just means that he's in really good shape physique wise. Roy, I will say, has been more active since the last time we seen Mike in the ring. Roy has fought a plethora of fights, man. Some fights are forgettable. Some fights he's been knocked out in. I know the Danny Green fight. Those are some good. Lebedev wasn't no joke. That wasn't no exhibition. You know what I mean? Lebedev was a good cruiserweight. Got Roy up out of there. Danny Green and who else? Enzo Macronelli. You know what I mean? Wow, man, this is kind of hit me off guard, man. But when I break down the fight itself, Dago 619 was good, bro. But when I break down the fight itself, y'all, they say the power is the last thing to go, right? And we know Mike Tyson definitely packs a lot of that. Roy powers in his speed, and his speed obviously has diminished. Even when you watch him uh, hit the double land bag, which he is, man, Roy on the double land bag is just something amazing to watch. If when I watch Floyd hit the heavy bag or do the mitts, I get that same type of feeling when I see Floyd do the mitts, the same type of feeling I get when I see Roy hit that double land bag. It's just amazing. You know what I mean? Doing Light Productions was good, bro. So when I break it down, man, I just think Mike, this is gonna be a quick fight, y'all. I think Roy Jones gonna get knocked out. Um, Even though Mike hasn't been in there in a while, I know Mike will get some good sparring. He'll get some guys with some, hand speed. Both of these guys get the right sparring. Who wouldn't want to spend some time with Mike in the ring? Well, shit, there's a lot of people that wouldn't, but guys who are serious about the sport that can put on some big gloves and big headgear and give them some sparring. There's a lot of guys I'm sure that will want to get in there and give these guys sparring for this fight, and just to say that you were in there sparring legends. You know what I mean? But both of these guys are in their 50s, man. I just see this shit going probably 1 or 2 rounds. I think Mike is just going to smother him, and Roy's not going to be able to do anything. He's going to get hit upside the head, and he's going to go to sleep. And Roy Jones was a great fighter in his day. And I actually was kind of looking at some of the way the press is pumping this. Is they're just saying like Mike Tyson is back. Oh, and he's fighting Roy Jones Jr. It's like, hold on, we need to put some respect on Roy Jones Jr. He just ain't. Yes, it's an exhibition, and I think the last time Mike was in an exhibition, he had fought Corey Sanders, not the Corey Sanders that blew out Klitschko, not that Corey Sanders, but Corey T-Rex Sanders, the black Corey Sanders. Remember, he had that. They had a exhibition. I think it was in Ohio. I think it was in Kelly Pavlik's hometown, man, in Youngstown, Ohio. But anyways, man. Yeah, they just saying like Roy is, Joe Blow. You know what I mean? Like he's Peter McNeely or some shit, man. Like, no, Roy is all-time great fighter in his own right. So just when you go on ESPN, but Mike Tyson is just the bigger name. As great as Roy was, Mike Tyson was the bigger name and shit to this day. Till this day, he's still the bigger name. Appreciate that super chat. My man BFTB says, yes, the man who got me into YouTube boxing. I've been waiting for this, man. I needed this in my life. Salute to the king. I appreciate that, bro. But yeah, man, they got to put some respect on Roy. Now I'm looking at ESPN. They just got Mike. They got a picture of just Tyson there saying he's back against Roy. It's like, man, you got to make that a split picture and put Roy up in there too, man, because this dude was pound for pound the baddest thing throwing down for a good 8, 9, 10 years in a row, man. That like 93, 94 up until he took that when he rematched Tarver and lost. Roy was pretty much the man on most people's pound for pound list. I know Sweet Pea gets some consideration. Oscar, a lot of guys around that time, Trinidad. But yeah, man, I think Mike's gonna get in there and just bum rush him. I mean, we can go over a style breakdown. Obviously, we know this isn't the 1993 Roy Jones, right? We all know that. We know this is the 1988 Mike Tyson. We know that. But just speed and reflexes is one of the things that goes first, right? And that's what Roy depended on largely throughout his career. And once we saw that diminish a little bit, even in the early 2000s, well, in the later 2000s, he was getting knocked out by Macronelli and all them other guys. The reflexes wasn't there, man. He's not able to slip punches like he used to, and his punch resistance was kind of shaky. I just see Mike bum rush him. I don't really see Mike getting hurt all that much by Roy. I know speed is power, but how much speed will he have? And shit, I'm talking about Roy and shit, but how much endurance will Mike have going late into fights? Roy's the one that's been fighting. He's actually been, against, opposition. He fought one dude that was making his pro debut in boxing. I know one of these years in the exhibition, but I'm just being honest though. He has been fighting though, whether it's against guys that you never heard of or some low tier type of dude. He has been training in gyms fighting. I know Mike's been training, especially recently, but he hasn't really left the sport like that. He didn't go up and gain go up to 300 pounds and all that type of shit. So I will say that Roy has kept himself, despite what they look like right now today. I will say that Roy has been around, at least visually for us to see as fans and on social media. He's been and taking fights, right? He's been around in the last time Mike was in the ring, if you want to count the exhibition, but that 04, 05, 06, Roy's still been in the ring. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be interesting, man. But when I just look at it, man, I just see Tyson going in there, not really respecting Roy and getting him against the ropes right off the top. And then it's gonna be all downhill for Roy after that. That's just what I see about this. I really don't see it going that long. I really don't. Um, this shit's gonna be bad, man. I just really think it's gonna be bad. If anything, Roy should try to fight like B Hop in the third fight. I don't know who watched that based off their second fight they had, but man, I really this shit might end up bad. Um, but that's what I think, man. I could give y'all a big long video, but it's once I first heard of the matchup, I said, "Oh, Mike by knockout." It's one thing to do a video when I was talking about these guys fighting possibly in 02, 03. 02, 03 is when Roy was still looked at, well, before he lost to Tarver in the rematch, but that 02-ish, Roy was still looked at as pound for pound the best fighter out there. He's that is far from the Roy we see today. I mean, both of these guys, they're not where they were, but they're both in their 50s. But I just see this as a knockout, man. Even if I try to break it down for Roy, if him fighting with his hands low is a no-no. If he try to fight with his hands up, he's going to take away from his speed. I always thought when Roy put his hands up, he always took away from his own speed. His speed comes from literally having his hands dangling down by his waist and doing irky-jerky movements with his upper body and springing up and catching you with triple left hooks and double straight right hands and all that. His thing was never put my hands up and fight you in the textbook. That just takes away from things. And I think Mike is going to rip to the body. Um, it's actually weird, man. Like Roy is actually an inch taller than Mike and have like an inch or two on reach, but shit, man. I just think he's gonna get knocked out. I think it might be a left hook or overhand right hand. You would think Roy's best chance try to pepper Mike, try to turn him and pepper him and wrap him up on the inside and walk him backwards and all. But it's gonna be hard to fight a big man's fight, right? To fight a Lennox Lewis fight, even though Holyfield is a smaller heavyweight, he's a lot taller than Mike and more reach than Mike. Uh, they fought big man fights against Mike Tyson. They didn't go in there and try to fight with the hands down, pepper you and all. No, wasn't gonna work. So is Roy gonna try to? I mean, again, this is 50-plus-year-old guys, but just based on their styles and what they fight like majority of the time when I see them in the ring, what's Roy gonna try to do? Pepper them, use the jab, circle them. I mean, I really don't know. But I think Mike's gonna win by KO. I'm gonna get to y'all questions in 1 second. I see my man Jupiter be up in this thing. Games PP was good, y'all. Uh, Sergey Kuzmin versus Martin Bakole Alunga. Think that's a good fight as well. Bakole, I wish he would use his jab and fight a big man's fight, but he likes to get in there and rumble and mix things up. One of the better prospects coming up. Kuzman only losses to Michael Hunter. Well, both of these guys lost to Michael Hunter, right? So salute to Michael Hunter. But the way Bakole fights, man, he's gonna. And I seen some footage of Kuzman training. He looked like he's a little heavy. Could be some training from a while ago, and he just posted it. But I did see some footage of him, a little heavy, but he's not gonna have to do much moving around and chasing nobody because it's gonna come right to him. It's gonna be a slugfest, and I really think it's just shit who lands first. To tell you the truth, Michio Wallace taking on Joe Joyce. I know him and Dubois taking some or trying to get some interim fights before they mix it up, which I don't think they need to, man. But anyways, he's going to destroy Michelle Wallace. Wallace was a guy I did a prospect watch video on a couple years ago. His only losses are to Tony Yoka, F.Ed Jagba, and he lost to, actually I'm watching a fight right now, Christian Hammer. His best chance, man, is just to get in there and mix it up and just land something big, just to overhand, try to put his guards up, get ready for an onslaught because Joyce is going to bring it and and Joyce is not the fastest puncher. He's durable. He's not the youngest guy, but he seems to be in very good shape in his fights. But I say get in there, man, and try to put the high guard up and try to come out of that high guard with big overhand rights and big hooks and try to catch Joyce in between his punches. Because he does leave opportunity to get punched when he's punching. Or you can punch with him as well. He's not the fastest puncher, but he has thudding power. You know what I mean? But I see Joyce blowing Wallace out, man. Then I seen Otto Wallin's gonna be back in the ring. They say August 15th against Travis Kaufman. Kaufman has been in there with some of who's who. I actually was at Kaufman's last fight, right? I was at the fight he had December 1st, 2018. He was on the undercard of the first Wilder Fury fight, and he fought Luis Ortiz. He got stopped, got dropped 2 times in that fight. But Kaufman's savvy. He's been in there with, like I said, with who's who, Amir Mansour, guys like that. Um, he may get dropped. He'll get back up. He'll he knows when to hold, knows when to clinch. He'll make it ugly for Wallen. This may end up being an ugly fight, especially if Wallen tries to go out there and blow him out, try to go out there and just prove that I can blow him out, which would be good for us, the fans. But I think you have to set it up against Kaufman to get him out of there. You know what I mean? Now, this doesn't mean that AJ or Wilder or those type of guys can go out there and possibly blow out Kaufman, but I'm not sure Wallen can do that. And it's funny, the way Wallen fought against Fury is crazy. The fight he had against Fury, then he had a fight on Showbox where he was way more aggressive than the fights that I seen him fight when I made his Prospect Watch video about 4 years ago, where he was kind of like a southpaw boxer mover guy. And I think this Fury fight, I want to see if this gives him some false bravado, man. Does he really think he's this come forward, high guard, put pressure on you guy? Is that what he's going to be now from the Fury fight, or is he going to be kind of the guy that I saw earlier in his career, even though he's getting stoppages, but the guy likes to move a little bit, use his southpaw stance, and pepper you with shots. You know what I mean? So, and there's a lot other. I know Povetkin and White. I see Dillian White's in shape. Hopefully, he can maintain that. Uh, there's some other stuff about. I'm not even getting into that, but hopefully he can maintain that because he definitely have to be in shape. If he's out of shape, I would pick an older age Povetkin to win that fight. Povetkin still got a little bit left, man. Michael Hunter's not a damn pushover. He isn't. Yes, he lost to Usyk, but people are making like he lost to Usyk. Yeah, last time I checked, Usyk's one of the best pound for pound fighters in the world. He was undisputed at cruiserweight. And Michael Hunter put up a damn better effort than Gassiev did. You know what I mean? And some other guys that I've seen him fight at cruiser. So that's not necessarily a a bad thing because he lost to Usyk. That's his only loss. You know what I mean? Then he shit took Povetkin tooth and nail. You know what I mean? They got a draw. He beat Kuzman. He beat Ustinov. Stop Ustinov. Ustinov's hard to stop. So Michael Hunter's not some fucking pushover, man. You know what I mean? So and White hasn't looked all that great against guys like Oscar Rivas, and even in the Joseph Parker fight, good wins, good quality wins, but it wasn't like, oh, did you see it wasn't like he went there and put on like a virtuoso performance. He had to dig and grind for those wins, Dillian White did. So even with his fight, the fight he just had, you know what I mean? With the Mariusz Wach, the Polish cat, you know what I mean? So he had to dig and scratch for some wins now here, man. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a hell of a fight, I think. Let me see what y'all talking about, man. Watcher, what's good, bro? He says Povetkin is a veteran. Those short hooks and uppercuts are the kryptonite for White. On the inside, if White tries to rest and take a breather, he better tie up efficiently. If he goes in there and tries to just rest on the inside, he better be ready to move his hands or hold, grab, do something, because Povetkin will throw. He will take advantage of being in close. That left, he still has a formidable left hook. This may be the battle who lands their left hook first. There's gonna be some left hook throwing motherfuckers in this fight. Okay, I see people. Let me see. Didn't really expect a lot of people to show up, man. I really haven't been that active over the last few months. We know with this COVID going on, and still training my boys with basketball, and got some other stuff going on, man. So I haven't been that active. You guys have been following me for 10 years, going on 11 years now. You guys know that I'm good for taking 3 months off here, 2 months off there. You know what I mean? But when I'm back, I definitely pump out the content. But just taking a little time off. But I'm still around. I'm still watching people's channels, man. You know what I mean? I'm still around. Let me see here. I ain't really got that much battery left, but let me try to run through some comments. Tavares Dot was good, bro. Games PP. Let me see here. Fee Khabib says Roy about to go viral and get knocked the fuck out and would be world star. Damn shame. It's gonna be ugly, bro. I definitely think it's gonna be an ugly knockout. No Games PP, not the Corey Sanders that knocked out Oleg Moskiev. Let me see. Somewhere Shannon Briggs punching. Official AJ says some. He says somewhere Shannon Briggs is punching the air like Trey on Boys in the Hood, crying, punching the air. Yeah, because he wanted that fight with Mike, and I thought that'd have been explosive. I actually seen Shannon on Mike's podcast that he has. What's it called? Y'all know the one I'm talking about, the one that Mike does. Yo, man, my battery's on 5%, y'all. Damn, I should have charged it. Um, James, I don't know if Israel's coming back, man. I did a video. Remember, I did a video from his last loss. Forgot the guy he lost to. What was that guy's name, man? But the guy was 10-0, and he ended up stopping Israel. Israel just pretty much quitting that fight. Then remember that video I did, bro, where I came out and Israel stated on his Instagram that he's retiring. But to answer your question, I haven't seen anything. Yes, I still follow him on Instagram. He stays. He just seemed like a guy that just stays in shape regardless. I don't think he's coming back, but if he does, it wouldn't surprise me. But I don't think he's coming back. Man, I had high hopes for Israel. He was one of the about 3-4 years ago when I came with that prospect watch list. He was at the top, man. Israel was one of the top guns in my opinion. And this was before the class from the 2016 games came out. This before Herkovic and Tony Yoke and all those guys. But I still had Israel rated high. Gaines PP said, Tyson, shit, why not rematch Danny Williams or Kevin McBride? Because McBride went on a nasty losing streak after he beat Mike. He lost a grip of fights after that. And Danny Williams, I know they still got him around taking on up and coming prospects till this day. You know what I mean? Shit, he fought. Who was one of the guys he lost to? He got stopped by Adrian Granat, who was a Swedish prospect at one time. You know what I mean? So I know Danny's still around losing the up and coming prospects, man. Nah, Mark, nothing happened to me, bro. I'm still good. Even though with this Rona going around, I'm still good, and all that shit happened here. You know what I mean? I'm right in the Twin Cities. So when that shit happened with George Floyd, I'm right here in the middle of all that, man. So the city was going through a lot. Just 2020 has been crazy, man. Then just some personal stuff as well. So it's just been crazy, man. Um, why America no longer produce Bo, Holyfield, Tyson, Foreman? Well, those are once in a generation type of talents. That's for one. But we do have a guy named Deontay Wilder who, well, I'm not. I mean, they do have Wilder and some other guys with some talent. You know what I mean? But we need to see how they progress. But shit, I think what Wilder did, I mean, 10 straight WBC title matches, man. That's something, you know, that's something not easy to do. You can say, oh, he didn't fight this guy. Okay, that's not easy to do, man. It's just not anybody can do that. You know what I mean? But those are once in a generation type of talents, man. Those are guys that went to the Olympics along with Wilder, medaled at the Olympics. Well, besides Mike Tyson, but you get what I'm saying. Holyfield, Bo, Foreman. You know what I mean? That's elite class. You know what I mean? You just don't get those type of guys every other year. You know what I mean? But I think what Wilder was able to do was special. You know? But didn't really expect too much. Yeah, I agree, Jupiter B. I'm not sure if that guy was trolling or what. So I seen another comment that guy left, and he said Tyson can beat Wilder. You know, so I guess he's trolling. Man, it's all good, man. Man, with all the shit going on in the world, bro, I didn't think motherfuckers had time to troll. Still, it's like, man, I mean, I get it. You know, it is what it is. It's the internet. You know what I mean? But I guess. Uh, But yeah, man, I don't want this to cut off on me. I appreciate y'all showing up, man. I'm gonna try to put out more content, but as soon as these fights, like some good quality fights, like I seen Ajay Kabayel, German heavyweight, moving up the ranks. Seen he had a workman-like performance the other night. They're giving us fights like that. All right, just went off, came back. But once we get the big fights, I will start making more videos. But I don't want this to cut off again. I appreciate y'all showing up. Appreciate the super chat, man. I'll be back chopping it up with y'all, man. Y'all be good. I'm gone.